Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael Eagle II, and with me, as always, is
Sesame, just Sesame. Yeah, there you go.
Just Sesame.
Just Sesame, just Jen.
Yes.
Just Sesame.
Yes. So, speaking of which, today on the show, we are covering 2 episodes of She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
Yeah, not just 1, 2 episodes.
Yes. So it'll be twice as woke.
Yeah, woke boy's gonna strike a lot in this one.
Yeah, maybe. Probably not. He doesn't have to.
Woke boy strike, yeah.
He's gone into retirement. No, I'm joking. No, he's gone off to a retreat with Emil Blonsky.
That's the second episode, but yeah.
Oh yeah. So the first episode is episode 6, which is entitled Just Jen, and it was directed by Anu Valia and written by Kara Brown. Be either way.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be something completely different, and that would be weird. Like maybe she just pronounces her name as Phyllis.
Yeah,
But it's
maybe.
spelled like Kara.
That would be like a mind fuck right there.
Yeah.
But,
I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to keep my name spelled like Michael, but I'm going to pronounce it like Charles.
I wonder if there's like a legal gray area where you could actually do that. I don't know. I'd have to look into the laws about spelling versus pronouncing it. Because I can understand like certain names where like it's spelled a certain way and you could sort of tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like let's say if your name is spelled Michael, but then you say your name is Anubis, like how like
that's
you know
really weird. Yeah. But if I was I wanted it pronounced Mikel or something.
Right.
You know, that'd be different. But,
yeah. So interesting. You know, maybe I'll look into that since now we're watching a law show.
Yes.
You know, it's kind of revamped my interest in law.
Here's the thing I want you to do between this episode and the next episode we record.
Okay.
I want you to go to law school.
Okay. In a week, all right.
And get your degree.
I mean, I'm pretty sure with like admissions, I can't even go into a class within the next week.
I want you to pass the bar in the next week.
How about this? How about I'll do all the studying and then take my own test that would be the bar and then pass that, but it wouldn't be considered passing the bar because I didn't actually. And you could actually film me taking a test so you know that I didn't cheat, you know, or I can film myself.
Or what you could do is just get in your car and drive past a bar, and then you can say, I passed the bar.
I guess, yeah, I could do that too.
Yeah.
That would be the easier way, but...
Yeah, that'd probably be the easier way. Or you just walk by the, you know, you're at the grocery store and you're not tempted to buy a Snickers bar because you passed the bar. Yeah, that works.
Hey, you know, we live in the world of the MCU now where...
Yeah, anything's possible.
Anything's possible. And also anything's possible now in our world too, now where mermaids are supposed to be translucent where you can see their skulls and you know, and all that stuff. So, and
I found out that tweet was actually done as a joke.
I don't think it was. I think
no. The thing is, the original idea of it was, and then other people ran with it and took it seriously.
Who with Matt Walsh?
Yeah, he took it seriously, but the original person who
Oh, I see.
posted it, like
Okay.
somebody tweeted it out online
And then he,
as satire, and then somebody took it seriously and
and then
thought,
he
well,
went
that makes
off.
sense scientifically, so I'm going to go with that. And then a bunch of people
Oh my
hopped on it.
God, that
Yeah.
makes it even worse. Okay, and
Hmm.
then if you're not following up on the culture wars, which congratulations because it's like sucks all the energy out of you. And
Yeah, I
yeah,
kind of just like ignored it this week. I know
yeah, me too.
I
I'm
know
like,
there's something about a classically trained flutist playing a flute that is somehow wrong,
yeah,
but
there's
yeah,
a new culture war theme every week, so it doesn't matter. And
yeah,
then what is
exactly.
then
Or flautist, I'm sorry, not flutist. Um,
well, wow, you can say both, it's fine.
yeah,
But
but you know, she was classically trained, and
yeah,
yeah, but it's wrong
because
for her to play it.
like musicians never ever change their like training to do like what they do ever. Like like
Mhm.
no classically trained person has ever gone off to become like a pop star. Oh wait, actually several have. Okay. And
Mhm.
you know,
And it's people don't just change their original intention in entertainment either. Like I mean, it's great all the Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch albums that we've had in the last 30 years.
yeah, sure. Uh we've
It
had
it,
what
it,
one?
it, it, it yeah, I mean it's a good thing that we talked him out of becoming an actor.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that just because you start out in one field doesn't mean you know. And the thing is he
Yeah.
could go back to rapping if he wanted to, and it's okay.
Yeah, could you imagine, yeah, the timeline shift if he just stayed with that
Mm-hmm.
band? Well, probably they only would have had like one other record anyway,
Yeah.
and then they would have stopped, and then he would have just been like a regular dude or whatever. But we wouldn't have all the great movies like we've got, Daddy's Home or whatever it's called, or Daddy's Coming. I don't know what it was called. Daddy's Here, Part
Daddy's
One.
Daddy's Home 1 and 2.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. Part one and two.
Hmm.
You wouldn't have Shooter, which is actually a decent one. Wouldn't have Fear. That one's a good one.
Yeah.
That one's pretty
Hmm.
scary. I mean, it's called Fear.
And then we live
Anyway,
in a world where we actually respected the better actor in the family, Donnie. But anyway, so
whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm not gonna go there. Let's get off the Wahlbergs.
Are you
Anyway,
talking
so
Blue Bloods? Are you talking about Blue Bloods?
I'm just saying in general he's a better actor than
But
Mark.
you talk about the guy in Blue Bloods, though,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's a better actor
Yeah,
too.
he
But
is.
anyway,
He's a much better actor.
yeah.
So the anyways, the first episode here, Just Jen. Um, I'm gonna like break it down really quick. First off, I wanted to know, what did you think of that episode?
Just Jen. That was I don't know. I'm kind of split a little bit. I like the whole wedding thing. Like like
Yeah.
this is an inconvenient episode for like the middle of the season, but that's how weddings are or inconvenient or whatever
Yeah.
type of thing.
Which is on purpose, I think that they did.
I thought that was kind of funny, and then
Yeah.
I I did like the whole like she actually shows up as She-Hulk, but then her friend who's getting married wants her to become Jen because she doesn't want She-Hulk getting all the attention, all this kind of stuff, and then she meets this nice guy,
Yeah.
ostensibly, who likes her as Jen, whereas
Just Jen.
when she was going on dates with She-Hulk, all these guys were just either like fetishizing her for being like, like a superhuman with like who
Yeah.
looks different, or wanted just to say they can be on a date with a superhero, or also just have like a fetish because she looks different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which again, I liken that to like some people who like will have a fetish like for certain like different racial groups, which I know it's not a direct parallel, but I could sort of see that kind of
It's a decent
like
it's a decent metaphor.
I'm saying, like, I
Yeah.
know they weren't going all in on that, but like because they even did mention someone having a fetish, so like in one of the episodes. Like, so, I think that was Todd, the one that was like really creepy about like your blood, and all this kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
like I got some vibranium, I can test it or something like whatever. And then, so she meets this dude, ostensibly nice guy. And we'll find out either way, in the next episode of whether that's true. Who just likes her just as Jen, just as herself, and so that like I like that aspect of it too, to like actually see Jen smile like sincerely, like actually be happy
Yeah,
as
where,
that part of herself, not just as the She-Hulk
which makes things
part of
all
herself.
the more sadder when we get to the next episode.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I liked that episode too. I think it was a good diversion. I did kind of see what happened in this week's episode coming. Um,
Abby too.
it just seemed too convenient. But anyways, in that episode, and Just Jen, basically what we have is Jen is invited to be the bridesmaid at her old friend Lulu's wedding. When she arrives, like as you were saying, however, she is disappointed to find that Lulu wants her to present herself as Jen and not She-Hulk. And because she just basically wanted to be the cool one at the thing for a change.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically, it's like this girl that you went to high school with, who you're not really that good of close of friends with. She's saddling her with all these like pre-wedding duties all of a sudden, which I'm like, I would have been like, screw you.
Oh yeah, because the staff basically quit on her because
Yeah,
of how they're treating them. So yeah, she was
yeah,
just
'cause she's like
having
a bridezilla. Um,
all of her bridesmaids,
mhm,
but it seemed like she was giving her all like nastier
yeah,
tasks, like just the I don't know, mess with her or whatever. And then
and it's almost like
but
it's almost like did you invite her just for this purpose? Like that's what I'm wondering.
well, that's why I was
Yeah.
starting to wonder if it was just a way of like a power move, power play or something, because it didn't seem like they were really good friends. And then and it also too, not I don't want to give anyone any ideas, but like the actress who played her the bride
Yeah.
is transgender. So I bet you all of the anti-woke people have probably,
Oh, really?
hopefully they haven't figured that out yet, but they probably have
Oh,
because
she is. I did not realize that.
yeah, the like the woman from like I Think You Should Leave, um, she's been in that, a few episodes of that. Yeah, she's a transgender actor. Like
Oh,
she doesn't like make that like a big
yeah.
part of like
I
identity,
mean, I,
but
I I had seen her in other things. I just never knew that she was, and
yeah, and
never
so
really
like
cared one way or
hopefully
the
no
other.
one will
Yeah.
notice. Then they'll
Hmm.
be like, oh, you see, they're trying to, and then and that'll be a whole other thing. Now they're gonna try to make She-Hulk fall in love with their trans best friend, and then they're gonna get married, and all this kind of stuff or whatever. So who knows? And then
Yeah, well, I doubt. And hopefully they don't. I actually don't think they noticed that because I haven't seen any mention of that, which is
well, good because
good.
like the 30 people who listen to us, maybe they won't care. So then like
Hey, we're up to 31. No, I'm joking.
well oh that's hey. I always wonder about that too. Like who, like how do like the first like I thought about this for years actually. Like when you start a YouTube channel
Yeah,
or whatever, like how do the first people
find you.
who like find you? Like that's what I always understand because I understand like once you get millions, like for example, like Hassan Piker, because we were just talking about
Yeah,
him.
like when it comes up in your algorithm and your suggestions, it makes sense. But
Like
yeah,
yeah, who's the first person and how
yeah.
did that become the first person? I've always wondered just how that works, but like
Yeah.
it's just interesting. And it'd be kind of cool to like know
If
that
there
you
was a
were.
way for me to track it down, I would, to figure out who our first listener was. But
Yeah,
I mean,
it sounds
it was probably me.
well, could like me whenever I do my mashups. I'm usually the first person to listen to them, and then
Yeah.
instead one or two views or whatever, and but hey, I'm up to 122 views now my latest one, and probably like 20 of them are mine. But like you know, or no, more like 10. But anyway, yeah, I wonder if she just saddled her with that as like a power move.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, maybe she was like I get the feeling that like they might have been friends in high school, but not necessarily like good buddies sort of thing. So
yeah, and plus too, we kind of in the next episode we kind of there might be some intimations about that when she says something in a therapy session. We'll talk about that later. Uh, but like yeah, she like her groomsman is actually a dog named Jonathan, like a tiny little
yeah,
dog. So again, that just all seems like intentional, you know. And then like let's just find a way to humiliate her, you know, as much as possible, you know. And then of course it's a cash bar, just again to show how like just like
yeah.
not sleazy, what's the word? Just like selfish this person is. Like can't even have an open bar at your wedding. You gotta have a cash bar, you know, so people gotta pay for their own liquor, you know, like
Yeah, it's like I've been DJing weddings lately, and I have yet to be to one that had a cash bar.
well it's just
Yeah,
seen as good manners, you know. People are coming there, they're taking time out of their day, they're getting dressed up. You know, it just seems like good manners to, you know, if they want to drink, you know, they don't gotta pay for it. They already had to pay probably for a suit or at least get
I mean
dry cleaned.
I've been to one that was like a dry wedding, but that's
Well,
different.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
different. You know,
where
that's
there
yeah.
wasn't even soda at it. It was all lemonade, water, and tea. So yeah,
Okay, well, yeah. So I mean that's different too.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean I liked it. That was pretty much the whole episode. Really, nothing really happened besides.
Well, there was a big fight in the middle
Oh
of
yeah,
there.
duh, I forgot about
Basically,
that.
Titania was there somehow. She was invited to the wedding.
Well, because she was quote dating one of the groomsmen, but
Yeah,
not
or
really.
something. Yeah, she probably got her way in there, and then
Yeah.
she's still pissed off about the whole stuff that happened in the previous episode where she lost the rights to the name She-Hulk, and so she's got the whole you know axe to grind, and she's saying that she won't, but then she basically makes it so Jen has to Hulk out and fight her. So there's a big fight at the wedding reception. So how it happens, because there's always one of those at a wedding reception.
Well, yeah, and
Every,
then
every wedding I've DJ'd, there's been a She-Hulk there. It's
well, that's kind of cool.
yeah, it's weird. I mean,
I mean, like
once just once there was an Ant-Man there. It was weird, but no, I'm joking. So
so far we see Titania in 3 episodes,
yeah.
and so I wonder. I hope that she'll be in, you know, more. Maybe who knows?
I
Maybe
still
she'll
think
help
it's a
her.
misdirect. I don't think she's going to be the ultimate bad in the show.
No, I don't mean. I'm
No.
hoping she'll actually end up helping her
Yeah,
out,
me too.
like last moment or
Mhm.
something. You know, because again, I'm starting to wonder. Like, this is sort of like an aside here, really quick, but like, so like we've had the MCU since 2008, and like all of a sudden within like the last like 5 months or so, it seems that like we're just being told, oh yeah, there's all kinds of people now with superpowers that have always existed that nobody's ever talked about in the MCU universe. Like it just seems weird to me that
For
like
example,
nobody would.
the B plot of this episode was where uh Nikki and Mallory were taking care of a of another case.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, with a character played by David Pasquesi, my Facebook friend. He's a really good guy. Playing Mr. Immortal, a guy that had all these different marriages, and he would fake his death to get out of the marriages. But he's lived for like centuries, so it's yeah. So obviously he's been around forever, and nobody's mentioned him. But then again, his power is that he can't die. It's not like really that convenient of a power. Like if you need to save the world, it's just basically like, okay.
Well,
I mean, you can. It is something cool. Like you can, like Deadpool, for example, like has healing and stuff, and he can help save people. But it's just like this guy's kind of a selfish guy, so obviously he's not going to help people.
yeah, like he's just
Yeah.
like it literally just fakes his own death to get out of marriages, but also changes his identities, which is like a crime, an actual criminal offense now. And then
And he was married to
uh,
several women and at least one guy over
at
the
least
years.
one dude,
So yeah.
yeah, and they all like found out about him, I guess, and
Hmm.
then he just jumped out the window out of the office when they were kind of making like Mallory and
And Nikki were.
Nikki were like kind of like both kind of just like talking against him, and he's like, "Oh, I thought you're supposed to be on my side and not judge me." He's like, "No, we're just supposed to represent you. It doesn't matter."
See,
Like,
I still don't know if I trust Mallory Book yet. So,
oh, really?
yeah, I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
yet. I mean, I think it's cool, but like, it might just be because I've read in the comic books she ends up being a like antagonist to She-Hulk.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, it's like I still don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna bring it up in this series or not, but if there's gonna be anything, but it'd be interesting to see if she has anything to do with anything, but I doubt it. But basically, so we have that going on, and then he ends up having to, you know, pay some money, but also have to like sincerely apologize to people and stuff like that. That's basically where
Which you
that story went.
can't,
That was kind of a funny little side story.
which you can't do. But again,
Hmm.
that just like for me though, it's like, how are we now just finding out about these people? Like nobody knew about these people before, like or just didn't talk about. I just don't
Well,
understand.
I think a lot
Like,
of it is too that some of these people were just hiding the fact that they were like this, or it was like
okay,
just there and they weren't like it wasn't, maybe it was just like an accepted thing, but we didn't really, they weren't like superheroes, they were just people with superpowers
yeah,
or
I get
special
that. I'm just
powers.
saying,
Yeah.
but like we were never told that those kind of
Hmm.
people existed before. I don't know. Maybe it was just because they didn't have the rights to do that back then or something. So
Yeah, but I
now,
mean, we did have situations where there were a lot of people that in like if they decide whether or not Agents of Shield is canon or not. There
right?
were a lot of people in there, like Inhuman type people and stuff like that. So there were people with powers in the world. So
Yeah,
it's
so it
like,
could have just been like a legal thing of them not being
yeah.
allowed to talk about mutants, or at the very least,
Plus, it's also
like,
you don't want to introduce people because then you get in the situation where it's something like where it's like it's still even kind of difficult for me to understand, like when you're watching like stuff like in the Arrowverse or even in the MCU where you've established these other characters and there's like this world shattering event, but only the Flash can take care of it.
right? Yeah,
It's like,
because
but he knows Supergirl. Why doesn't she? It's stuff like that.
yeah, exactly.
Or like in the MCU, it's like only Ant-Man can take care of this situation, but why isn't Hawkeye helping out or something? It's like that
Yeah,
sort of
because
thing.
they're all doing their own stuff. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, but
you
they
always have
trade
to
off.
like figure out a way to excuse it or just ignore it. It's like,
It's just yeah, it's
yeah.
very
Hmm.
very strange. But like, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they'll explain it. But to me, that's sort of just been nagging at me a little bit for a while now. It's just
Hmm.
like at least having the acknowledgement that like, okay, yeah, the Avengers are like their own
Yeah.
superhero team, but there are other people who exist who do have maybe super strength, superpowers, but just live
It's
regular lives. Like we
Yeah,
didn't
I mean,
even get that.
it's kind
Like,
of like the difference between like Lady Gaga and then the girl that sings at the bar every Friday.
like,
You know what I
right.
mean? It's like,
I do understand
yeah,
that. I'm just
yeah,
saying, like, yeah, I get that point too. Saying
mm,
like maybe they're just not top tier enough to
yeah,
be able to, but like these people do exist. But we didn't even get that prior
mhm,
to like I don't even know. Maybe just a few months ago, it seems
yeah.
like where like with Ms. Marvel, where we're realizing like, oh no, there's actually other people out here who have powers, and just for whatever reason they just don't use them, or they don't.
And it
They
could just
just
be
have
that
regular.
they're all coming out of the woodwork, and it's just also like I just think a convenient thing for the MCU to have not
Yeah,
mentioned other people because they don't want us to think, hey, there's some guy in Hoboken who has superpowers, but there's all these people
Right.
fighting in New York City. You know.
Exactly, because that's the other thing too. So it's like the Battle of Earth. So like, why wasn't Titania there to help out?
Mm-hmm.
And or I mean, like all these other people who have powers are just like, yeah, we'll just let the Avengers take care of this
Yeah.
world battle that literally can like, change the tides of history.
Or maybe there was just some kind of thing where there was an unsaid understanding that you can't really help unless you are an Avenger. Um,
yeah, but they had a lot of other people fighting too. Yeah, who
yeah,
knows? It's probably
it's
just
like
a convenient thing.
it's like you know, uh, I don't know, like Dave Grohl can attend a uh, I don't know, Coldplay concert, but it doesn't mean he has to get up on stage and play.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yes, I think you're
Yeah,
right though. It's probably just a convenience because they
yeah.
need to introduce more characters because the Avengers are pretty much
Hmm.
are disassembled at this point. Like they're,
Yeah,
like I mean, half of them have, well, not half, but two of them have died. One of them went back in time
and
and lived.
after the blip, things are getting a lot worse too, and and it could be that people are kind of coming out of the woodwork now because they're like, hey, maybe it's my time to step up and
Yeah,
help out, or
I mean, it could
or
be
my time to step up and be a bad guy, or whatever. So,
yeah,
yeah.
that too. Like, yeah, it could
Hmm.
be very much be something like that. So like, I just like it seems like Phase 4 is very very unique, and it seems like it's getting there, but it seems
It's
like
good. It's still a little bit more disjointed than the
it
others.
is
Yeah,
it is. That's the point I'm trying to make, and
yeah.
that might be, I mean, we're talking about the multiverse, so that's gonna be kind of confusing, and
Yeah, because it'll
stuff
be
like
interesting
that.
too. Because like this week we got the announcement about Deadpool 3, and that Logan's gonna appear in it. Wolverine. So
But it's not
what?
gonna be um obviously it's not gonna be Hugh Jackman, right? It's gonna
Oh
be a
no, it's Hugh
different.
Jackman.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, no, you should look it up. There's an announcement for it, and then a follow up question and answer thing, like really quick thing with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman.
Oh, okay. I thought they said, maybe I misread. I thought maybe they said that it technically the X-Men movies aren't canon within this
Well,
the
they aren't yet, but this is supposed. But they do say that this is Deadpool's first inclusion into the MCU officially.
right. Okay, gotcha. All right.
So and he's technically an X-Man. Um, so yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, that's pretty
But yeah,
cool.
but Hugh Jackman came out of retirement to play Logan one last time.
All
So
right. Well,
yeah,
that's pretty. Yeah,
yeah, you
that's
should
pretty
check out the
sweet.
videos. They're your typical Ryan Reynolds funny. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So the but anyways, back to that first episode, we do have the situation where also there's an intelligentsia message board which is maintained by an individual known as Hulk King. Yeah. Anyways, there are also scientists working for Hulk King who have been spying on Walters and plan another attempt to steal a blood sample from her following the wrecking crew's failure in a
Yeah.
previous episode. So we got that going on. So that's basically what happened in that episode. And now on to 7. Really quick. We got which is called The Retreat, again directed by Anu Valia, this time written by Zeb Wells. Um, and that aired September 29th. Um, so in this episode, what did you think of that one?
This one is actually my favorite episode so far of
Yeah,
the season.
me too.
I really, really like this one. Because it's very, very personal, very vulnerable episode. Of course, the
I have one
anti.
major gripe with it, but other than that, I liked it a lot. So yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
the anti-woke is probably gonna hate this one, but like this one was just very I don't know. It was just very, maybe the idea of just being at a retreat. So basically, it's like Jen goes on a retreat. That's like
Yeah,
the like the base, like the baseline, I guess, of the, and then we can get into more detail. But that's she
yeah.
goes on a retreat and basically like is able to sort of like
Find
express
herself.
feelings that
Yeah.
she's been sort of suppressing and stuff like that, and you know,
So basically, what we got going on here. I mean, I liked it. I had one gripe that I'll get to as we go through the episode.
okay,
Um, but anyways, we've got we're starting out, and Jen is going on several dates with Josh that we met in the previous episode, the nice guy at the wedding. Um, she ends up after a few dates ends up sleeping with him, and then he completely ghosts her. She sent a text to him saying that that was fun. I can't stop smiling and everything, which was good. So anyways, she keeps waiting for him to text back, and she eventually has to. She gets a phone call from Blonsky's parole officer, who's named Chuck Donnellan, and he informs her that the inhibitor had stopped. Um, the inhibitor that will stop Blonsky from turning into the abomination has somehow stopped working. So they have to go to his meditation retreat area that was given to him by his 7 soulmates, and check on him. Shortly after they arrive, they realize that there was probably like an electrical current that happened when he was trying to save a chicken from getting electrocuted on an electric fence. His favorite chicken, like what was it, like something
it was Princess
Prince
something,
Princess something feather or something. Yeah,
yeah, something feather.
yeah.
It's chicken, which I'm starting to not sure if I trust if that was true or if he's
That's what I'm
trying.
saying. I wonder if he did turn into Abomination, and yeah. Um, because I still don't know if I trust him. If he might be,
Yeah,
because who knows who this Hulk King is? Because that's not a character from the comic books. It's just there is King Hulk, but that's a different.
that's a whole different
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Hmm.
um,
And there's also Hulkling, but that's still a different character completely.
and
Um,
plus Hulk technically has a son, and that's why I'm starting to wonder if that's why he went back into space is to.
oh, I think
Re-
they're setting it up for World War Hulk. I'm pretty sure
okay,
they got to be.
yeah.
Um, because I believe that the rights to do a standalone Hulk movie revert back to Disney pretty soon. So
Okay.
yeah, because currently Universal has the rights. That's why he can appear as a secondary character and only be on screen for a certain percentage of the time of a movie. So that's why we only see him in like Avengers movies or in cameos and other, you know, in like Shang-Chi and stuff like that. Is because
Oh,
he
okay.
and he's only appeared so much in She-Hulk because they couldn't like just do a like Hulk TV series or a Hulk movie standalone because they don't have the rights to that yet.
Oh, I see.
But they do have an agreement that he can be a guest star in other people's projects. So
I mean, they made like 5 Avengers films, so it's like,
yeah,
what I mean?
I mean his screen time equals his own movie, but he just hasn't been in his own movie. So,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
um, since the one with Edward Norton, which was made by Universal and Marvel at the time, but that was
Yeah.
before Disney owned Marvel, so it's a
It's
oh,
a
it,
whole,
it, it it's legal gobbledygook
yeah,
stuff that Jen Walters could take care of. Um,
yeah, exactly.
but anyways, so they while she's on this retreat place, whatever compound, um, she arrives there and El Agilia, what's his name? El
Oh, I can't pronounce it.
El
Italian.
Agula, El Agula, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah,
yeah.
and Manbull are fighting, and they accidentally destroy her car, her Prius Prime. I'm gonna say that again. Her Prius Prime. This is my only other. I got two nitpicks of this episode.
Okay.
That whole scene was like a Prius Prime advertisement. I swear.
Oh, is that what it
She
was?
said
Okay.
no, it wasn't really, but I'm just saying she said the name of the car like 3 fucking times in that scene,
Oh,
and
I
I'm just
see.
like, are we? Is this like product placement? Like, what's going on?
It
Probably.
could
Yeah.
be. Like, didn't they do that with what movie where they
Mhm.
kept like? Oh no, it was like the Hawaii Five O where the guy like described like the Subway sandwich like
Oh, and
almost
Chuck,
exactly.
Chuck, they do that too. Like, because Subway paid for production of some Chuck
Yeah,
episodes, and they ended up having to like have all their like lunch scenes take place at a Subway and stuff for a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's like an episode of Hawaii Five O, like the newer one
yeah.
that's been canceled for a while, but like where like one of the dudes, like the bald guy, he he was like literally just like describing the sandwich like the way you would like in a commercial.
Oh,
Like so it was like
jeez.
effectively like a commercial for Subway within the episode.
Yeah,
But like
they have to get more creative sometimes with advertising and shows, and plus if they're gonna subsidize the budget of the show, they're gonna definitely do that.
yeah.
Some of the production cost of Friday Night Lights was paid by Applebee's, and in the script for the show, they were just hanging out at like a local, you know, restaurant or something like that, but they changed it to Applebee's in like every episode of that show. They were hanging out at Applebee's. So
Yeah, we're going to the bees again,
yeah,
guys, to celebrate. Uh Yeah, Man Bull and Al Aguila, like D-list Marvel characters.
I like them
Like,
both. I love them both so far.
oh, me too.
Yeah.
But just like,
Hmm.
I love how they're introducing like such low tier,
Yeah, which
uh,
is awesome.
here. Yeah,
I mean, like in the previous, that Mr. Immortal isn't really that well known either. So
no, he's not. I mean, I never
yeah.
heard of him
Hmm.
until, but he did say his first wife was Baroness Cromwell,
Yeah.
and I looked into that, and that could
Mm.
be a character in
Yeah. There
Marvel.
was a character from like from what's the British there's like a British basically like Captain America character, like Captain
Uh,
Britain or something. I
yeah,
don't know what he is, but anyways, like a or one of like I think those comic books that character originally appeared in. Um. So yeah, there's possibility that they were dropping a seed there for that. Um.
yeah.
But anyways, basically her car's destroyed, so she's kind of stuck in this um stuck there until it can be towed away. And she has no cell coverage or cell reception or internet coverage there, at all, so she can't do any
Like,
work, and she's
yeah.
trying to check her phone all the time for Josh's like text back that he's never going to give. Um so
Yeah.
she's keeps nervously awaiting her responses from Josh, and while there she ends up finding this one little area with some cell reception in this building, but Emil's Blonsky's got this like little like therapy group going on there, and he's got Manbull and El Aguilar there, along with a character named Porcupine and a character named Saracen, who is a vampire in the comic books, but in this they say he thinks he's a vampire.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah. And Porcupine is basically a guy that wears a suit that makes him look like a porcupine.
So he's not like an actual.
I don't know if he has any.
So
look
some
up.
of these people are people who actually like have like issues, but like other people just have like identity issues or like
Possibly.
Okay. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, because I think like Porcupine like fights in this suit, but doesn't like have any supernatural powers or anything. I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whereas
I could be
Campbell,
wrong. Yeah.
Manbull does have like some kind of super strength, and Aguila has
Yeah.
bioelectricity for a sword, which is pretty
Mm.
cool. And then
And Manbull did say at one point, he says there was a lab accident, don't ask, or something like that. So
yeah, because that was pretty much
yeah.
his
Mm.
backstory or
Yeah.
whatever, using bull serum or something like that, or and then he's a very very D-list character because like I looked him up and it was like they'd have him in a few issues and then like 12 years would go by before they put him into another issue. And then like they would do the same thing again, like another 12 years would go by. So it's like a very minor
Minor character.
character.
Yeah.
But like he has run afoul of like Spider-Man, some of like the main
Yeah.
like Iron Man, I think, at one point too, and stuff like that. And She-Hulk, I think, as well. So maybe that's why.
Yeah. That's cool though.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
So, anyways, she ends up while she's in there, this guy comes in who had um been like in a yurt like meditating, and Jen notices that it's Wrecker from the Wrecking Crew who tried to capture her blood outside of her apartment the one time. So
yeah.
yeah. So anyways, they end up going to blows a little bit there. She throws him into some chairs that were neatly stacked. And by Manbull, yeah. So that upsets him a little.
He's very upset about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they end up having like what happens here? They got like therapy session going on. What happens in the session?
Yeah, I mean it's a group therapy. Emil's like basically like their guru, kind of, sort of, not really. And he's just like, asking, Jen to join, the session. And
she does, yeah.
She does eventually, and she goes into this really, just really vulnerable dialogue, about how, everybody, because she mentions too about like, you remember that friend from high school who was like way cooler than you, and and all this stuff, and like everybody liked them, and then she kind of just motions to herself as She-Hulk, like that's how people see her, and then saying that like she can become this person whenever she wants to, but then it feels kind of like cheating because like if she didn't have that ability, would people still like her, as Jen, not knowing that she wouldn't be able just to become She-Hulk at will whenever she felt like it. And then, she was saying, that she met this guy at a wedding, who, I'm not crying, by the way. I've like literally got like need to blow my nose in a minute, but like, and then,
yeah. So what we end up having is like they she's rejected and ghosted by this guy, so it's hurting her.
So all the guys are like, who is this guy? We're gonna kill him,
Yeah.
Like they broke Jen's heart, like all chivalrous, and like
Yeah, and El Aguilar says my favorite quote in the episode. He says, "It hurts when someone rejects us because it reminds us of the times we reject ourselves."
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Which is pretty deep. I also want to point out the fact that on the wall behind Blonsky in the scenes, because I just saw a picture from it, there's a sign on the wall that says Obama Stay.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Wow.
A combination of abomination and namaste. So yeah.
It's interesting because that could mean he's probably start like some kind of cult for superheroes. Plus, too, this might be too esoteric, but like namaste, I think the literal meaning of that word means something like the God who lives within me bows to the God who lives within you. So if he's saying like Obama stay and he's got all of these like D-list like super villains or superheroes, is that like almost saying like since we're all like got like powers or whatever, or that we're all like bowing to each other, if you will, or whatever, like I don't
Yeah.
know. And then like who knows, but like
Yeah, I mean he does, Emil's got very Keith Raniere vibes to him.
see, I'm really I really want to trust him and
Yeah.
think, but like at the same time, it's like this whole thing with like the whole MacGuffin of the show is they're trying to get her blood. Like that's been
Yeah.
like since episode 3, I think.
Which
And
brings
then
me to my one nitpick of this episode.
okay,
I know they're in a group therapy session here, and she forgave Wrecker for what he did.
Yeah.
There's no scene where she says, "Hey, by the way, who hired you to try to hurt me?"
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That would have been a good.
Yeah,
Yeah. That is. I
that's
didn't
my
even
biggest
think about
nitpick.
that.
I'm just like, why didn't she ask him? I mean, maybe she did, and it just wasn't on screen, but it should have been. Even if his answer is I don't know, they just paid me a lot of money, or something like
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
That would have
That's
been something.
because all we get are these weird like things in the lab and people like we
Yeah.
never really. And then
But they could have easily written it with even if he was lying about it, just a scene. All they needed in there was just a line of a dialogue between the two of them, 2 lines of dialogue where she just says, "Hey, who hired you to hurt me?" And he's like, "I don't know."
see, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Is that I'm really worried that Emil is the one behind this. Hopefully,
I know.
hopefully not, because I really want him
To be
to
reformed.
turn over a new leaf.
Yeah.
And plus, since we saw him in Shang-Chi, you think Wong would, being a master of the mystic arts,
Could
doesn't just
somehow
mean-
see into his soul or something, or
yeah, it doesn't just mean you're good at sorcery. It kind of you've got spiritual knowledge, or just you could sort of tell if someone is decent or whatnot. And so I would think that maybe he was the one that was originally maybe pushing him in that direction of being more mindful and stuff, and then he kind of just took it and went his own way with it. Hopefully,
Yeah.
it's not going to be that he's still looking for that Hulk blood, because that would just be so
Yeah.
derivative, But
I mean, I could see him maybe being part of the plan, but I don't think he's the mastermind.
I hope he's not.
I hope not either, but I don't think he's the I could see him being a thug for hire or something, but other than that, which I hope not either. But I'm just saying that if they're gonna do some kind of heel turn on this, but the basically throughout this this group session there, though they end up convincing Jen that the best thing for her to do is to delete Josh's contact information from her phone.
Yeah.
And to, get rid of her feelings for him and just basically kind of move on. And, as Elsa says, let it go.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
go. Yeah.
Something that people that complain about this show should do. Anyway, so
yeah, just let it go.
Yeah.
It's not your show. It's fine.
It wasn't made for you.
Yeah.
And so, but then at the end of the episode, because Jen ends up, the tow truck arrives and she ends up leaving after getting a nice card from the group. And, saying that they love both her and She-Hulk. And, so, but we do a flashback here where it's revealed that 3 days earlier, Josh had secretly cloned her phone and copied everything from it. And supposedly stole a sample of her blood. They didn't really show that, but it was kind of implied in the texting.
Somehow.
Yeah.
And then I do remember though. It did seem like it was very subtle, but I do think at one point Jen was like kind of like feeling her neck a little bit with her hand, and I
Yeah.
don't know if that was just like a nervous tick, but maybe that was
Yeah, or
a hint,
or
maybe
a
like a
character
tiny
choice
little
or
prick,
something.
you know?
Yeah,
What's that?
or an actress character choice just for whatever. I don't know. It depends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it did seem like she was like feeling something but like you think you would notice like some kind of like a shot or you know what I
I
mean
mean, it just
like
depends
but
on how small the thing is in place. I mean, if you're out like a light and somebody takes your blood, you might not notice it. Um,
well, I guess that's true too.
yeah,
And but yeah, and then
and then
but
he took a creepy picture of her laying in bed.
yes, I didn't know if that was for like maybe the intelligentsia site or if
Yeah,
that was
like
just
if they're gonna try to
proof.
slut shame her or do something or what,
Yeah, or just like proof that he was there,
Mhm.
for his bosses or whoever, like I don't know, but
Yeah,
like or he could be what they call hate monger because that's supposed to be a character who's like super incel type dude, like well, this is before the incel movement was
yeah.
around, but like kind of that that vibe, hate women, type of thing. Or
I think I figured out who Hulk King is actually though.
who do you think it is?
Ben Shapiro. And no, I'm joking.
Okay.
I'm joking.
Wait, Ben Shapiro as a character is in the show now?
I'm just
Yeah.
joking.
They should have to change his name to like Shabibo or
Yeah.
Shabibi or um Benny Boy or
It's Shen Bapiro. And
yeah. Oh
yeah,
my god.
yeah, the but no who knows what's going on here, but I'm really hope that the Hulk King payoff is a good payoff. And I mean people online are so stupid. They're like, "Oh, I watched it again and there's no Daredevil."
Yeah, I know. He's probably gonna show up at like the last
Yeah,
episode.
and it's like they're getting they're getting like angry about it. Like they're just tricking me into watching a show.
No, they're not. That's okay, but
If you want Daredevil, there's a whole like 3 seasons of a TV series that you can
okay,
watch with him in it.
but dude,
Uh,
every show does that. That's the whole point
yeah.
of cliffhanger. Like that's how
Mm-hmm.
they get you to keep watching.
We
Otherwise,
got and people are just like so angry about this, like it's destroying their lives, and I'm like, it's a TV show, right? Um,
like do something else with your time.
like I
Like I
said,
said,
if you really want to see Daredevil, there's plenty of it out there. There's shows and um a mediocre movie and
I mean, yeah, with Ben Affleck back
yeah,
like in
yeah,
two,
which I actually like, but I'm not gonna die on that hill.
yeah.
Because I've actually fought with people about that movie being good,
Oh,
and
really?
because I really like it, so
I never saw it, so I
yeah,
don't know.
I haven't seen it in years, but when it was out, I remember getting into big fights with people.
Oh,
I did a
jeez.
thing at the university where I showed it for the I was the president of the Film and Video Society there, and I
You
showed it.
actually show it.
I showed it in a double feature with The Crow. It was like 2 comic book movies in a
Oh,
night,
wow.
and I did The Crow first, luckily, and we had a huge crowd for The Crow. And like when Daredevil played, we had like 3 people there,
Wow.
and I got in an argument with somebody later on about why I chose that movie. But yeah, it was just
Wow.
yeah. So, anyways, but anyways, we're gonna see Daredevil. I don't think it's gonna be the last episode. I think we'll see him next week. That's my guess.
Hmm.
I don't think they'll wait till the last episode. But again, if you're watching a show called She-Hulk and you want to see Daredevil, the show is called She-Hulk,
Yeah.
not Daredevil.
Plus, too, they've already dedicated so much of the show, to introducing other. I mean, we had Wong
Mhm.
as main character in 2 episodes already, and back to back actually. And
I
like,
mean, it's like watching Frasier and being upset that Niles isn't in an episode.
yeah, so it's like if anything, She-Hulk, which is interesting because we're talking in the context of women and
Yeah.
stuff like that. we have a show that's ostensibly dedicated to a woman character, and so far she has her well she but her show has given so much time to other
Oh yeah.
characters, like you know what I mean. So like, because there's this talk about like women kind of being expected to make room for other people and stuff like that. Well, this show is literally doing that, and people are still complaining about it. It's like
I mean, we
you
have
know,
we have a whole
clearly,
episode. We have a whole episode here where, because people are like saying how it's anti men. We have a whole
which
we have a
this one,
whole episode here of the retreat where a group of men help Jen with her mental health issues.
right? I
It's
mean, they
like,
do pull the like chivalry card too much, but that's still because
yeah,
they
but what I'm saying is if your issue is that men aren't being represented well on the show, um, here's your episode where they are.
what episode are they talking about that's supposed to be anti-men? I can't even
Oh,
think.
they've said the whole series is. So yeah.
Really? I can't hardly
Oh,
think
I
of.
can't think of anything either, but of
I
course
mean, I
because
thought of like a
it
few throwaway lines
they
maybe, but
they
like
just think the whole show's woke and anti-men, which it's not.
okay,
So, but
whatever. I mean,
you got to complain. They got to complain about something.
I
So,
mean, yeah, there's been a few throwaway lines about like how like even being a superhero, it's hard to find a decent date or whatever.
yeah.
Again, it's like it's like these anti wokesters. I mean, I don't know what you call them, but like they need us to take a leaf from their own book about like stop looking for things to be offended by. Stop. It's like all right, well, take your own advice. Stop
Mhm.
like zeroing in on like one throwaway line and then making that like the whole thing. When it was just meant to be literally just a throwaway line, and then you're making it out to be like it's like the whole theme of
Well,
that entire
it's this
series or
whole
whatever.
toxic fandom where they want
Yeah.
to complain about something. They doesn't matter. You could present to them the exact script. They could write the script and still
Oh yeah,
complain about
they
it.
still be mad
Yeah.
because it wasn't delivered correctly. They delivered it disrespectfully, just like
Yeah.
how Lizzo, apparently disrespected James Madison's flute that nobody knew existed until like yesterday, and then everyone's like, "Oh my God, a piece of Americana has been completely defiled by this black." I mean,
Or like even in an issue where it's not even this anti woke based type stuff, where I was reading something like earlier where when the Obi-Wan Star Wars show came out, people were complaining that it was too fast paced and there wasn't enough character development. And now that Andor is out, they're complaining that it's too slow and too much
it's
character
like,
development.
oh my God,
It's like
guys, it's like again,
you get exactly what you want here with another show,
and
and you're complaining about, and these are the same people complaining. It's not,
it's too woke. It's not woke enough. It's too fast. It's too slow.
Mhm.
It's it's too it's too much like the comic books. It's not enough like the comic books. It's like like really like I like TV. I like movies. Sure. I mean our
Mhm.
entire show is dedicated to reviewing them. But like just do something else with your life too. Find something
Yeah.
else. Like because when your whole life is just revolves around that, and then shows start coming out that you don't like or that you find offensive for some reason, and you're like letting it like actually ruin your lives, like in all sincerity, like seek counseling if
Just don't
I'm
watch
not
it. Don't
not
watch
even
it.
being sarcastic. Yeah, don't watch it or seek therapy. If you can afford it, or maybe you can find it for free somehow. Again, not even being sarcastic about that. I'm like genuinely saying that,
Yeah,
like,
you
because
should. And
there's some underlying issues going on of why there's so much anger and that these things are triggering you. Like,
I mean,
that's not normal
there's an
response.
off button on your TV for a reason.
Yeah, like go for a walk, meditate,
Hmm.
meditate for 20 minutes a day. You'll notice very quickly that it will create small changes, but those changes are definitely noticeable. And just don't cares so much about like preserving what you think like the things are used to be or supposed to be or whatever. Just like live and let live. Like it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're still gonna get your shows, okay? Like you're still gonna get your Rambo type movies, where it's all about shooting people and like revenge. Because again, everyone's so obsessed with revenge. Like that's like the only form of justice they think exists in the world is revenge. And it's like, well, revenge and justice actually aren't the same thing. But okay, like yes, it is. If someone kills your family member, then you have the right to go and kill their. No, that's not. That's vigilantism. That's that's not how justice works. Okay, and then but yeah, I don't know.
Unless you're Batman and you're in the Justice League, and that is how it works, right?
Yeah, but
I'm joking.
again, though, but then like there's like a moral story to that too of like how that can corrupt you. And yeah, I know. Yeah, because Batman can be very vengeful at times.
Yeah.
But he goes back and forth, just like how Arrow would go
I
back
know.
and forth. Like, I'm not gonna kill anymore. I'm just gonna maim but then
Yeah.
he'll go into like, now I'm gonna kill again, and he'll keep going back and forth, and and like it's like, okay, dude, like pick a path, like and then
Yeah.
but I was gonna say something else too, and I totally forgot I was gonna say.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not you. I was in the middle of my whole speech, and then I just I was talking about the because you were mentioning about the show's going too slow and all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Just saying like find something else to do or heck,
Yeah.
write your own story. That could be another thing too. Like write your own comic book, or at least try to, and then get someone else to
Do something
commission it.
creative instead of destroying other people's work.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's more fun and more productive, and yeah.
Anyways, we're getting a little long here, so we should probably wrap things
Yeah.
up. Any final thoughts here?
No, just I'm looking forward to the next episode, see what happens, and hopefully Daredevil will show up. Maybe he won't. Maybe he will. We'll see.
Yeah, I got a feeling he's going to be in the next episode, at least at the end.
To maybe help her fight off.
Yeah.
Maybe the new Wrecking Crew, or maybe Josh is going to show up with this huge vibranium needle, probably, or something like that, or whatever.
Is that what they're calling it these days? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that reminds. Sorry, there was something I wanted to say earlier, and I forgot.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is but even before my weird speech. No, so like because she was sitting right next to the dude from the Wrecking Crew, and when they were trying to convince her to shrink down the Jen, I was like, oh my god, I hope someone doesn't have a needle there.
Yeah,
And,
I saw it going one of two ways. The way it went, and then the other way was that everybody was going to like hold her down and get her blood or something.
That's why I was so
Yeah.
scared that happened.
Mhm.
I was like, oh no, like don't do it, like like.
Yeah. Well, anyways, folks, be good to each other. Remember that. That is the
Yeah.
most important thing in the world. If we can just listen to each other and be good to each other, and not be so negative and tear down, build something instead of tearing down others.
True.
Yeah, and check out our TeePublic. That'll help you out. Check out our Patreon. Check out all of our social media. Go to all2real2.com for all that. And remember, we love you, folks. And until next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.